Picture a World Cup stadium on match day, the crowd buzzing the flags out, the anthem about to play. Now picture security guards searching every single fan at the gate, not for weapons, not for anything dangerous but for a flag. Picture supporters being pulled out of line, told what they are allowed to wear and what they are not. Picture a man in his team's shirt being arrested and escorted out by police. Picture the national anthem playing, and 70,000 people drowning it in booze. That was Iran versus Belgium on Sunday at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. It is the clearest sign yet that FIFA has turned this team's entire World Cup into a hostile, chaotic mess. So much so that Iran's own football federation is now in open revolt against the organization running the tournament. Formal complaints, furious public statements, a lawsuit hanging over it all. So let's go through exactly what happened, because the team that has already called itself the most oppressed at this World Cup just hit its breaking point. Start with the flag, because it is at the center of everything. The symbol that FIFA worked so hard to keep out of that stadium is the pre-revolutionary lion and sun flag, Iran's flag before the 1979 Islamic Revolution. For the huge Iranian diaspora in Los Angeles, the largest Iranian community in the United States, it is the most powerful way to say one thing: country, and we reject the regime that runs it. FIFA put that flag on its banned list, calling it political. A Los Angeles court even upheld the ban after a group challenged it as protected political speech. And for Sunday's match, FIFA and stadium security cranked the screening up to enforce it with extra checks, and every fan searched, all to keep a piece of cloth out of a football game. It didn't work, not even close, by kickoff. Lion and sun flags were everywhere, on banners, on shirts, on signs draped across entire sections. Fans had figured out the absurd loophole. A stadium official actually whispered to one of them, "You can wear the flag because that makes it clothing. You just cannot display it." So they wore it. They turned themselves into the flag. FIFA banned. And when the anthem of the Islamic Republic played, the boos were deafening for the second consecutive World Cup booing. That anthem has become a tradition. One supporter held up a sign reading, "Where is Rashid Mazaheri?" It referred to Iran's former national team goalkeeper, who according to activists was detained by the Revolutionary Guard in January after speaking out against the regime's crackdown on protesters. This was a crowd making a statement the entire world could see, and FIFA's response to that statement was to treat the fans like a phone security threat. A man wearing an Iran shirt was arrested and escorted out during the match at the final whistle. Another fan in a pre-revolutionary flag shirt was detained for trying to run onto the pitch, and a reporter saw a fan who had scuffled with protesters loaded into an ambulance. Iranian activists claimed that while anti-regime fans were being searched and pulled aside, supporters of the regime were waved through. Easily a claim FIFA has not addressed. Whatever the full truth of that, the picture was unmistakable. A tournament that sells itself as the world coming together, frisking a persecuted people at the door over the flag of their own heritage. But here's the thing. The flag chaos inside the stadium is only half of why Iran is in revolt. The other half is how this team has been forced to exist for the entire tournament. And it is genuinely without precedent, because of the travel restrictions between Iran and the United States. The Iranian team is not even allowed to stay in the country where it is playing. Their entire World Cup base is in Tijuana, Mexico, across an international border, and US authorities imposed a brutal window on them. The squad can enter the United States no earlier than 24 hours before kickoff, and they have to leave the same day the match ends, 24 hours, for a World Cup match. So for every single game, the whole squad, players, coaches, medical staff, everyone crosses an international border, plays, and crosses straight back. Their players landed in the US on Saturday night, played Sunday at midday, and were due to fly out again Sunday night. Now compare that to literally every other team at this tournament. The standard at this level is to arrive 2 or 3 days early, to recover from travel, to train on the actual match pitch, to adjust to the climate and the time zone. That's not a luxury. It's the basic competitive standard the entire sport is built around. And Iran's coach Amir Galini said the disruption directly cost them. He explained that FIFA had even floated a Friday flight ahead of the Sunday game, exactly what Iran had been asking for, but it never materialized, and they ended up traveling Saturday afternoon, unable to complete a proper training session. "These constraints have made it very difficult for us," he said. Earlier in the tournament, he put it more bluntly, calling Iran the most oppressed team in the entire World Cup, while striker Mehi Terami summed it up in 4 words. Everything is like a disaster. So Iran's federation did something national associations almost never do in the middle of a World Cup. They went on the offensive. They announced a formal complaint to FIFA, stating that these restrictions are inconsistent with the principle of providing equal conditions for participating teams. Read that carefully, because the target matters. The complaint is aimed at FIFA, not the US government. FIFA is the organization that owns this tournament, sets its rules, awarded the hosting rights, and is supposed to guarantee that every team that fought through years of qualification competes on fair terms. Iran's argument is simple and devastating. That guarantee was never honored in their case. Then it escalated again. On the morning of the Belgium match, the US Secretary of Homeland Security publicly accused Iran of trying to sneak in someone with direct ties to the Revolutionary Guard, claiming that while most teams travel with around 120 people, the US had only accepted 53 of Iran's because the rest allegedly had IRGC connections. Iran's federation fired back within the hour, condemning the claims as false, fabricated, and entirely baseless, calling the specific allegation outright an undeniable lie, and accusing the US of using it to cover up discriminatory behavior and unreasonable restrictions. This was on top of the Federation reporting that its official ticket allocation was quietly withdrawn in the days before their opener, leaving Iranian fans with legitimate tickets locked out, and the ongoing lawsuit over the flag ban itself. The winger Alera Jawanbak said it as plainly as anyone could. "We don't ask for much, we just ask for the same procedure as for all the other 47 teams, the same procedure as the other 47 teams. That's the whole revolt in one sentence." And where is FIFA in all of this? Silent as Iran's complaint landed, neither FIFA nor US Homeland Security had publicly responded that silence is damning, because this is not happening in a vacuum. Remember, this is the same tournament where a FIFA-appointed referee was denied entry to the country, despite holding official FIFA credentials, where supporters from multiple nations were denied visas, and where FIFA's president had previously responded to that referee being turned away by telling people to chill and relax. So the question now hanging over the whole thing is whether FIFA will offer this team anything more than that, or whether Iran becomes just another access and fairness controversy that quietly defines this tournament's legacy. Once it is over, to be fair, not everyone sees it the same way some Iranian fans showed up to boo their own team, because to them it is a government team, and supporting it feels like supporting the regime. Others came purely to cheer Team Melli, and one longtime supporter at the stadium said she wished sports and politics simply would not mix at all, that both teams had worked too hard to get there. This is a genuinely complicated, painful situation, and the people living it do not all agree. But almost none of that complexity justifies what FIFA did, frisking fans over a flag while a qualified team shuttled across a border to play. And here's the part that turns this from a grievance into something almost heroic, because despite all of it, the border crossings, the lost training, the hostile stadium, the booing, Iran refused to fold. They drew 2-2 with New Zealand. Then, against a heavily favoured Belgium side, they ground out a 0-0 draw, even after Belgium went down to 10. Men goalkeeper Alaza Baron Vond made 7 saves. Terme had a goal disallowed by the narrowest offside call, and for a few hours this so-called most oppressed team sat top of Group G, as Johan Bach put it. In a difficult situation we perform better. This is part of our culture, and the grace they showed makes FIFA's treatment look even worse. The people of Tijuana embraced them so warmly that players now hear a phrase everywhere they go: Iran hermano ya Mexicano. Iran brother, you are Mexican now. And before they left Los Angeles, the team scrolled a message on a sheet of paper in their dressing room and left it behind. It thanked the city for its hospitality. It said they came with pride, competed with honor, and leave with dignity. And it ended with a line that should make FIFA ashamed of how it ran. This may peace, respect, and friendship prevail among all nations. A team treated like a security risk, writing a thank you. Note about friendship between nations. So here's where it stands. Iran has never once advanced to the knockout rounds of a World Cup. And now, after everything, a single draw against Egypt on June 26th in Seattle would almost certainly get them there. The most oppressed team at the tournament, the one FIFA frisked at the gate and left to cross a border twice a match, is one result away from the greatest moment in its football history. And it will have gotten there with no help from the organization whose entire job was to make the competition fair. That's not a team that lost its revolt. That's a team winning it on the pitch in spite of everyone. So what do you think? Should FIFA step in directly when a host nation's policies create a real competitive disadvantage for a qualified team? Or is that genuinely outside football's control, no matter how unfair it feels? Drop it in the comments and subscribe if you want World Cup coverage that follows the stories FIFA would rather you forgot.